This is Met Club, aka MetCat1983, and this is Viewer Takeover.
Meow.
This is the Midnight Gamescast. We record every Tuesday afternoon at midnight. Then we bring it to YouTube every Wednesday as the weekly wrap-up. So long ago.
So I don't even remember it.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
You know, PAX was a complete blur, and so was the wrap-up about PAX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agreed.
Every Thursday is PlayStation VR Theater, and every Friday, every today is Viewer Takeover. We let you, the loyal Gamecats, let you take over the show. As always, my name is Brian Paul, and to my right, your left, the king of all VR kings, the king of the sofa kingdom, it's Jeremy Kingdom.
That is I.
really wish your last name was Kingdom. It would just like
Kingdom.
roll a little bit better.
Right?
The king of the
Jeremy
sofa kingdom. Jeremy Kingdom.
I'd change it to Kingdom Jeremy, though. The land of Jeremy.
Kingdom of Jeremy.
Join.
Okay. Yeah, listen, first, before we even get into the show, we want to thank MetCat1983 for that fantastic Viewer Takeover introduction.
The fam.
In the fam, everybody's meowing together. It's awesome. We say this over and over. You know, your videos don't have to be long or produced or edited, over the top. Nothing, man.
Do have to be sexy though.
Short, simple, sexy, and I think MetCat1983 killed it.
Nice.
Right. So if you want to introduce next week's Viewer Takeover, well, I do have some bad news for you. We do have a couple more in the queue.
Yep.
To anyone who hasn't seen theirs yet, I promise it's coming. Some of them require a little bit of editing. This one that I'm working on for next week that like I think it was like a minute long.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we got to chop this down slightly, just so people don't tune out as soon as they tune in. No offense to the longer introductions out there. But yeah, withoutparole@gmail.com. Send your video along, get it in the queue. Otherwise, you're never going to do it. Come on, let's be honest. Just get it over with.
Yeah.
Right? But every week on Viewer Takeover, we scour the videos. We scour the comments.
Yep.
And let's be honest, we search for hashtag Viewer Takeover.
Yeah, that's it.
So if you want your comment read, put a hashtag Viewer Takeover in
helps.
there, and then we read them on the air. We copy and paste them into a word processing document that changes all of our periods to question marks, and then we read them that way because we think it's funny, right? But MetCat1983, isn't the only person that we want to thank this week, is he, Jeremy?
He is not.
Yeah.
All these
people down here,
fluffiest of the kitties, right down here.
oh, you're so cute, kitties.
Yeah. Declawed or not declawed?
Oh, absolutely not declawed, man. We want these kitties to run wild and free.
Good.
Right? As nature intended.
Absolutely.
But we want to make sure that we thank them. These are the people who went over to patreon.com/withoutparole
games,
and then they're giving us $1 or more every single month.
Yep.
Now, the deal with that is that they don't just get their name on this little bar down here.
No.
What else do they get for their $1 or more every month, Jeremy?
For just $1 or more a month, these fine folks can go over to patreon.com/withoutparole
games,
and they can have access to, now it's quite a number, a library of these little episodic things we call the litter box.
52 episodes of the litter box.
Wow.
Yeah.
52 of them to watch. And it's where each week one of us assumes the role of host, and for 2 minutes to an unlimited amount of time, usually non-VR game related, we talk about something special just to give back a little bit to you, since you are generous enough to donate to us, so we want to give something extra back.
Yeah.
They also, though, get
4 MP3s a week. That's every single one of our podcasts. They get Why We Love PlayStation VR, then all 3 segments of Gamescast, which is, of course, weekly wrap-up, PlayStation VR Theater, and then, of course, this show as well, Viewer Takeover.
Yep.
And that's 4 podcasts a week. You usually have to pay like $1 a podcast. Instead, for $1 a month, you're getting like 16 podcasts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you really can't stretch your dollar any further than contributing to our channel. Right. If you do, we love you. If you don't, we love you anyway. Don't worry about a thing.
Absolutely.
We're just thrilled that you're here, honestly.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And commenting.
Now, this week's episode of The Litter Box is actually video game related. We weren't terribly prepared for PAX. We'd never done something like this before.
No.
So we were like kind of filming each other here and there in when we were using VR.
Yeah.
And playing different games.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't actually film reactions and stuff. So I kind of just stitched together all the video that we took.
Yep.
And then I'm talking in front of it the whole time, kind of being like, and then there's this, then there's this, and then
Yeah.
there's this, just to kind of give you like the full gist of what happened at PAX, even though we didn't do a good job of filming stuff at PAX.
Well, there's some people there that were intense. They had these things strapped to them with the camera facing at them all the time, and
People video blogging like their entire day at PAX.
yeah, wow. My God. I thought it was me for a
No
minute.
way,
Damn
man,
it.
no way. After all of that, that was intense. All right. So that's it. Make sure you send your viewer takeover introduction without parole@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And I guess it's time to get started. I don't think we didn't have any Game Cats change their name this week.
No.
If you did change your name to something the Game Cat or something the Game Dog or now MK has introduced, the Game Rats.
Oh, really?
That's a thing.
Nice.
Yeah, we love MK.
Yeah.
We had quite a little conversation in the comments the other day. We want everyone out there to know that, like, if you ever have anything you need to talk about, we're here for you. Like, just open up, and hopefully I'll see your comment.
Yeah.
And then we can talk.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the very first comment for viewer takeover this week comes from Joe Monahan, GameCat.
Yeah, one of the great... Joe's been there for a long time.
Joe's about as OG as they come.
Yeah.
He commented on PSVR Theater. He wrote, another great episode. Might be too late for this, but hashtag viewer takeover, hashtag it's a thing. Ping pong, question mark, again, question mark, seriously, question mark, am I the only one who can live without these sports games, question mark? Look, I played sports as a kid, was good too, but as I got older, I found way cooler people at the arcade than on a sports field. Fucking nailed that one.
Yeah, right?
Not only that, but I work for a living. I don't need more exercise. Hell, I play VR specifically to avoid the damn exercise. So is it just me, or could you guys do without the sports titles? Question mark.
Yeah.
Boxing being the exception, as I don't mind beating on people. I can pretend they are people I can't legally beat on in real life. All right.
Right.
Fucking Joe, it's like he knew what our viewer he knew what theater this week was already
I know,
about.
huh? Wow.
We just talked about ping pong. We talked about basketball.
Yep.
And whether these are things we want to do in VR.
Yeah.
But now specifically to answer Joe's question, we liked Spark.
Yeah.
So that's a sports game.
It is a sports game.
You know, and I was talking about like Smashbox Arena. That's like dodgeball.
Yeah.
You know, these are games that I loved. But do you want to play sports in VR?
No.
No.
No, not at all. Basketball game doesn't appeal to me. Soccer game does not. None of them. So I'm with him. Yeah, but I'm not into sports.
Same.
You know?
I'm not into sports either. But that's the thing, is that VR makes everything better.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want to like keep harping on with my fucking tagline here.
I feel it makes sports worse, though.
You think so?
That one thing I can say, because the mechanics and the tracking and you name it involved in PlayStation VR,
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes for the fast motions of sports and all the swinging and whatnot you got to do, I don't know if it translates that well, and you got to be a little bit more cautious and do. I'd rather just play it if I'm going to play it to go outside.
Did you have a problem with Spark? Like, I felt like my tracking was always spot on, and I was swinging my arms wildly, and I never had a problem.
I mean, I did a little bit just because my camera's not precisely set up the right way. I can't blame that game, because that game definitely seems solid. I just think my setup wasn't that great.
Okay.
Because it seemed like if you went fast, it kind of just didn't know.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sports games in VR aren't appealing to me.
I'm going to say I was pleasantly surprised by VRFC, Virtual Reality Football Club, because I was like, oh man, I'm not a soccer fan, or football for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how this is going to translate, you know, and I got really into it, and it does. The controls take some time to get used to. Like this isn't second nature, but once it becomes second nature, I'm like, this is awesome. And like when you score a goal, you feel like the fucking king of the world. Another Leonardo DiCaprio reference.
Yeah.
It's so I could live without them for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and like Joe said, boxing, it's kind of perfect. Like Knockout Kings is great.
Yeah.
I know that Servios just showed their game, whatever the hell it's called, the boxing game. There's a Rocky reference. Creed.
Oh.
They showed that off.
Yeah.
And that looks great. It's like, so I think boxing, you know, you get 2 move controllers. It's perfect. Like, let's throw some.
Kristen Dunst.
Oh, Jesus.
Kristen
that took you a
Dunst.
whole day. It's a whole day. Wait.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's true. Yeah.
Literally the longest. Do we have to
Oh
do
my
this again?
God.
No, we said one an episode.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, you're up, Asia. Next viewer takeover question.
Derek Hart, 3 days ago, viewer takeover.
Oh, I forgot to take out 3 days ago. You don't have to read that, you know.
Oh.
How long have you been doing this?
Right?
Yeah.
I did a Michelle.
Yep.
Hashtag viewer takeover. Brian, can you somehow convince Jeremy to do more live streams of Resident Evil 7?
Yep.
Tell him to quit being such a goddamn baby. LOL?
Yeah. Stop being a goddamn baby.
It is true. I do have to stop being a baby.
But the reason I included this was 'cause I think there's a conversation here. You didn't stop doing live streams of Resident Evil 7 because you're a baby.
No.
You stopped doing it because you're fucking busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so but you know, it was Monday nights were going to be your night to the live stream.
Yeah.
Can we get that back?
Monday, it might have to be moved to a Friday or Saturday at times. I could probably do something, even every other Sunday. One of those, yes. My Mondays have now become preoccupied with another activity.
Okay.
I just it's like I have no time, and then now I like tack on more shit.
Well, Saturdays is an empty day for the channel.
Mm-hmm.
If you could do Saturdays like to give some content for the Game Cats,
I know, right?
Yeah, then that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But so Derek, we're totally trying to get this taken care of for you.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see you play some more Resident Evil 7. I know it's scary as hell.
For a while there, I wasn't like in a happy place to be playing and being entertaining, and it's coming back.
Good.
Just feeling the urge again.
Very happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a baby, but that's not the only reason he hasn't been playing.
Yes, true.
Yeah, we're all entertained. Whenever you do a live stream, the curious thing is that like Dez has been live streaming for like the better part of.
Is he still going?
I have no idea. It's funny. So let's see. I guess we can move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Next one is from Mark Bridgewater from the weekly wrap up.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
He wrote, boy, watching this was arduous.
Mm-hmm.
Why do so many YouTubers think that people are interested with all their shit talk? Were we shit talking or just talking into being shit?
I mean, yeah.
You're not interesting or funny. Just give us the news we came here for and cut out all the crap. Maybe then you'll get more likes and less dislikes. Won't be watching again?
You might be.
I'm pretty sure there's no question mark supposed to be there.
No.
He was like, won't be watching again.
More likes and less dislikes. So, I mean, I guess 6 dislikes
It's like 6. There's like
out of
6 or 7.
150 likes is all right.
Actually, that was I think I want to say it's closer to 200 likes on that video.
Okay.
There's like 6 or 7 dislikes, and when he wrote this comment, I was like, boy, you're not familiar with YouTube at all.
No.
Because that percentage of likes to dislikes, that ratio is fucking unheard of.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm like, you know, we'd made a joke about the people who click dislike automatically,
Yeah.
and that's all we were referring to.
Yeah.
And he was like, boy, you guys suck. No wonder why you get so many dislikes. I was like, well, maybe you should have looked at the number of dislikes.
Only a few.
And the fact is that Mark Bridgewater, you're in the minority because the fact is that we know full well who this show appeals to.
Yeah.
Right. It's not for people who are looking for news.
Apparently, Mark Bridgewater. It's not for him.
No, but for people like for Mark Bridgewater, we have breaking news reports.
Yeah.
We have short, concise reviews.
Yeah.
We have Let's Plays. We have whatever it is you're looking for. We have that on the channel. The Gamescast is not a place where you come to for news. We talk about the news, but it's late. It's like a week late.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're talking about the full week roundup.
It's kind of like getting your news from Jimmy Fallon or something. It's like, he's there to entertain.
Right.
And then lightly bring up some topics here and there. And I think, a good portion of our main show is definitely lighthearted. And then there's the serious ones, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's everything,
So, I mean, the interesting thing about Mark Bridgewater's comment is, A, that it exists. Because the number of times, and I've got to say, the majority of times I've gone to a YouTube channel and watched their content and been like, nope, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I don't click dislike. I don't leave a comment. I go, I'm going to move on to something I do like.
Right?
But man, he had this like well thought out
felt
comment.
The need, yeah.
He was like, won't be watching again. Here's information that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's like really mean constructive criticism.
Yeah. I mean, did he come a few times? Because, he said that just give us the news we came here for and cut all the crap. So he's seen all the other stuff. It seems like he's gone to get news from us before. He wasn't just checking out the channel. You know?
I don't know.
I don't know. Or he just felt the need to just really say mean stuff and move on to a channel he liked.
I want to know what shit talk is. Is it just our casual conversation he's calling shit talk? Because we're not shit talking anyone.
No, I just think he thinks all the bullshit we talk about.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for checking out the channel, Mark. As I responded in the comment section, if there's plenty of other stuff on the channel.
Yep.
And if that doesn't work for you, then go check out our friends, Seraphim, Dave Station, Polish Paul. Polish Paul's awesome.
Yeah.
Frank, and there's plenty of alternatives. And obviously, this show is not for everyone. We have 15,000 subscribers, and like maybe 2,000 people a week watch this show.
Yeah.
I get it.
And you know what? Another thing, Mark, sometimes give it a chance. We've had so many people that made comments like that, and then 4 months later, they're making comments positive. They're a part of the crew.
Yeah, many people. I know you're probably thinking that I'm talking to you specifically because you know who you are. But there's been multiple people who have apologized to me and been like, I hated your show.
Yeah.
And now I watch it every week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, thank you very much. Like our mission isn't to change people's minds and convince them that this is a good show.
Yeah.
This is the only kind of show we can do because we're just being ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we can't structure it any better because I do print out an entire run of show, and this is the best we can do. If you don't like it, then we don't have, like, at least the three of us, you, me, and Michelle, we don't have another format we could possibly use.
No.
You know, if I like what Des and I do with Why We Love PSVR, is very focused on one game.
Yeah.
But that's not what we do here. Mm-hmm. So if you don't like it, we get it. Move on.
Yeah.
And no hard feelings. I promise you that, Mark Bridgewater.
Yes.
I'm going to remember that name. All right.
Is it water under the bridge?
It might just be. So let's see. Me, you're up, Asia.
Paul Lidicott from Viewer Takeover.
What's up, Paul Lidicott?
Hashtag Viewer Takeover.
It's a thing.
I like games, but I'm not always good at them. Yep. I wish linear games would offer an, okay, you've tried this 20 times and failed. Do you want to skip to the next section? Prompt. Some games do that.
Yeah.
For example, I love Moss, but I'm struggling with multitasking. I'm currently stuck on the puzzle where you have to pull a big chain towards you a few times while battling with the bugs. I'm bug cannon fodder every time, and at this rate won't get to enjoy whatever comes next. Have any of you faced similar problems, and if so, what games were you unable to complete? And do you agree that games should give this option? Do you have any that stand out, Brian?
You mean games that I couldn't complete?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking so many games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Demon Souls.
Oh, my God.
Dude, I think I've spent like 30 hours with Demon Souls, and I've only defeated the first boss.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... right? The dragon thing on the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that game, I remember being like so fascinated by it and being like, wow, this is a beautiful game. Like, wow, with deep like combat mechanics and like all this stuff going on.
Very quiet, you know.
There are things going on in that game that I haven't even experimented with because I haven't progressed far enough to even like utilize them.
Yeah.
That was so Demon Souls, and then of course because I'm a fucking glutton for punishment, I was like, let's try Bloodborne, and Bloodborne I've made way more progress in.
A little faster paced,
a little more arcadey, but still, I mean,
just as difficult,
almost as difficult for sure. And I don't want to say I'm stuck where I'm at, but when I stopped playing, I kind of knew I'm not going back to this.
Yeah,
and that was like 30 hours in easily. What about you?
Yeah, a couple stand out. I Final Fantasy 13. I loved Final Fantasy 13 when it came out.
How much time did you spend in that game?
98 hours.
And you didn't finish it?
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
So what happened is I got to the end boss. I forget the dude with the heads, all the different things. You had to kill him. Sure. I can't remember.
Lots of heads.
I couldn't beat this guy or the end guy. I kept dying and dying and dying. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. And I was done. I was so bullshit. I put the game away. 13.2 was slated to come out a week later at this then point where I'm like, shit, I need to finish Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
I put it in the first try after not playing it for that whole length of time because I played it the day it came out, and then it was probably 2 weeks later I couldn't beat it. Put it away until a week before 13.2 came out. First try, killed him. It was done. I was like, oh!
How did this happen?
Yeah, it was amazing. And I needed a break.
Yeah,
Not maybe a year break, but, just to need to step away.
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
You just need to clear your head and like come at it from another perspective or just kind of, like, because sometimes when you die over and over and over, you just expect to die when you play it.
Yep.
But when you come back to it for the first time in a while, you definitely have a better feeling, like a better, like you almost, you're not convinced that you're going to die right away.
Yeah, you're more confident, you're more relaxed.
That's
and you have
exactly it.
The muscle memory is different. You're not going to just automatically turn this way because that guy might be there. It's like you just go about. I had challenges with, I forget where, but Metal Gear. Twin Snakes, when GameCube released that Twin Snakes, fantastic.
Fantastic.
I had some difficulty in that area too, where the game just frustrated me and I couldn't get past certain points. I don't really remember what, but I do remember stepping back, going back later, and destroying the shit out of it.
You brought up Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy X was one for me where I'd spent 60 hours in there, and I wasn't paying close attention to my sphere grid.
Yeah.
And I was like, just, hey, that sounds cool. Oh, that sounds cool over here. This sounds cool over here. But like, unless you were leveling up in a strategic manner, like you just fucked after a while.
Yeah.
And so after 60 hours, I was like, I am not strong enough to beat this boss.
Yeah.
And then once I looked up a guide, I was like, wow, it's going to take me another 60 hours just to grind to the point to get where I need to be on the sphere grid.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, that's it. So I gave up 60 hours in, never going back to Final Fantasy X.
It's one thing World of Warcraft did great way back when they reintroduced respecking.
Yeah.
You could go and pay the fee and have all your things reset and then
So smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do agree with Paul though. There were moments in Moss. In fact, the time he's talking about right here, I had one hell of a time getting through that. I died countless times. These bugs just keep coming at you. It almost feels like you're doing something wrong because you're like, it's for the first time in the game. It's like seems like an endless wave of enemies coming at you, and you're like, am I supposed to do something like to trigger the enemies to stop?
Yeah.
And no, it's not. You're just supposed to keep fighting. And Moss isn't really a game about combat. It's not about fighting. So like it does require that you use everything to your advantage. Like like freeze this guy over here while you're playing the game and keep the bad guys away from you. But it's still really difficult.
Yeah.
Do I want things to have the new Super Mario World Wii or whatever the fuck that game was? Was it on the Wii U where it was like once you die like 5 times, Nintendo goes, hey, you want to skip this part? Or, hey, do you want to be invincible? Or whatever what.
I don't remember.
It was something.
They've done it in a few games have done that. Do you want to skip this or scale down the difficulty?
Oh, yeah. And every time the game asks me that, I'm like, fuck you, game.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I could do this.
Right?
Yeah.
Stop holding my fucking hand. If that's an option, like if games want to continue doing this or if more games want to implement it, I want that option in a separate menu.
Yeah.
Like, click this box to have that question come up after 5 deaths.
Because it's insulting.
It is. And it makes an already frustrating game more frustrating when you don't want that.
Because now you feel like there's 8%, you're part of an 8% that is, it's okay. This game might not be for you. If it's too difficult, here's some blocks. You know, it makes you be like, you know what, fuck you.
Here's some blocks.
Yeah.
Nice.
So shit.
Yeah, so it would be nice for games to include this, but again, only as an option. Like, we don't want to be seeing that shit unless we really need to.
It would be awesome if they had a game too,
Right.
where if that happened, you would give them the option, if you achieved a trophy, all your friends could see it, that you, like, needed, the trophy earned. They asked if you want to scale it down.
We need some serious help in this game.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Jay Dow.
Another classic.
Another classic
OG.
Yeah, Jay's been around. Jay's one of our community moderators.
Yeah.
Yep. Jay Dow wrote on our Polybius review. He goes, geez, how the heck did you get 20 dislikes on this review? LOL.
Yeah. Wow.
So surprising. I don't know how many views that video
I haven't
has,
gone back to see that. Yeah, 20,
but
huh?
20 dislikes isn't that bad.
For us, it is. I've never seen. That's a lot for us. Isn't
I mean, like our Megaton Rainfall has like 15,000 or 40,000 views, and it's probably like 100 dislikes. Like, just percentage-wise, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't like VR. Dislike.
Yeah.
VR's stupid. I can't afford a VR.
Superheroes.
Dislike. Right. Yeah. Oh, I hate Superman.
Yeah.
Man, this guy's voice is stupid. Right. Yeah, I've heard that one quite a bit. They can't see my hair through the video. That's the only reason we don't have more dislikes. Yeah. So Polybius. So the only reason I put this comment in here is because I think the reason Polybius has 20 dislikes is because those are 20 people who have played the game and been like, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
Right. This game is way better than he's making it out to be.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, I agree with those 20 people.
Which game is Polybius again? Remind me.
Polybius was a game by Jeff Minter, who made Tempest 2000. He's like a classic game developer.
All right.
And this is like just it's kind of a shoot 'em up, but it's very flashy, very trippy, and it's crazy. It is over the top. Like, if you suffer from epilepsy, don't play this game. Like, it is that much stuff coming at you. And there's even a moment where, like, I'm fine in VR all the time, where I was like,
really?
I just had to shut my eyes because there's too much shit coming at me.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you got to acclimate to this game. It takes a while, but it's awesome. And the fact is, I remember reaching out to Jeff Minter, or Llamasoft, I think was the developer, which is Jeff's company, and I was like, "Can I get a review key? Can I get a review key? Can I get a review key? I want to play this game ahead of time, so I have plenty of time to spend with it, and blah blah blah." And I think what happened with this one is, like, he just never responded, because why would he? We probably had like 1,000 subscribers at the time,
right.
And so when the game came out, I bought it right away, and I played it for like an hour.
Yep.
And I was like, "It's all right." I didn't give it a bad review. I just said it's like average, and that there's not a lot here keeping you coming back.
Okay.
Fast forward a week, and I'm fucking addicted to the game, right? But we don't re-review games here.
Yeah.
There's just no time for that.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't have enough time to spend with the game ahead of time, and I felt the need to get a review out probably too soon.
Okay.
Totally admit that. And so I think Polybius is a fantastic game. We even included it on our next top 10 list after this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So hopefully I made up for it a little bit.
Yeah.
But ultimately, yeah, the review is just kind of invalid in my book. And along with that, just throwing this out there are 3 games that always come up off the top of my head that I think I overrated. So I underrated Polybius, and I think it's the only game I've ever underrated.
Okay.
But 3 games I totally overrated. How We Soar, which was it came out right near the time of Eagle Flight.
Okay.
But it was the other flying game. The other, I'm on the back of a bird and I'm flying around game.
Yeah.
Dext, which was a shooter, sort of a wave shooter, but like, you're supposed to shoot different colors with different,
something.
It
colors.
I think I got really into that game because there was nothing else to play.
All right.
But like, in today's ecosystem, I'm like, I don't even know if I'd recommend it. And then Pixel Gear, which I thought was fascinating because the tracking was so good, and you could use the sniper rifle. Okay. And like, even like putting it up to the headset didn't seem to cause any problems.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's kind of boring.
Okay.
And I don't think I thought it was boring at the time, but I kind of overrated it.
Yeah.
So like, it's fascinating to see like how things have changed, how like my perception of games have changed.
Yeah.
And maybe getting used to VR has changed things. And like Polybius, just spending more time with the game is something that is all it takes.
Yeah, it's like anything. First, people were fascinated by the wheel. Eventually, the wheel became a little boring. I don't know what came next. I'm going to fast forward to the bicycle.
Sure.
Then the bicycle, eventually the car. Everybody's going to want more and more and more in your opinion of one thing. So go back and review the wheel. Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's awesome. Great. But then a car, fucking car. It's way better. I just think it's all perspective. Back then, it was just we had less to go by.
It's all perspective, and I'm fucking human. And I don't mind admitting if I made a mistake or if maybe my opinion has changed. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not gonna defend one of my reviews to the death if I can't stand behind it.
Yeah,
I should probably just delete them, but I need to. I feel like there's still enough information in those reviews to say, check out the gameplay, see if this game is for you.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like what my reviews have always been about. Is being like, hey, here's what I think of this game, but here's all of the information you need to form your own opinion.
Yeah.
So I still feel like most of those reviews are valid.
A lot of, like, when I get reviews, when I used to get reviews, I would do a similar thing. I'd go on YouTube, watch some gameplay, because I'd avoid those solid staple numbered reviews, because I would see 8.1. All right, yes, I'm definitely going to get that. Then I'd play it and I'm like, this isn't my type of game. This isn't an 8. And then there's another game you really, really wanted, and guess what? It gets a 5. You're going to go into that game thinking this isn't that great of a game. And it could solely be because the dude who played it didn't like that type of game and put a 5 on it, and now that's the score. You think it's a mediocre game.
Oh, yeah.
So I stopped doing all that. Go to YouTube. I'd watch gameplay. I'd turn the sound down a lot of times just to see the mechanics of the game and be like, I like this.
Right.
And your reviews are very, I think they're just not, like, they don't put that solid number on there. You just say your opinions of things and don't say yes or no, And I like that, that it gives you a good opinion of what you think and leaves it up to the viewer to decide.
The strange thing is that Des and I have been talking pretty seriously about adding review scores.
Yeah.
And that's
it's not Siri.
Yeah, right? That was very strange.
Her and now her.
It's just chaos.
AI
around here.
everywhere.
Mad chaos. But making sure that people understand what our review scores mean.
Yeah.
You know, be like it doesn't mean that 5 is bad. It just means that 5 mechanically and visually, maybe from a we want to always make sure that like a game could get a 9 and be the ugliest fucking thing on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it's really fun, and it works properly, you can still give a game a 9. But I think that review scale, especially on a YouTube channel, is so hard to convey. Like in Electronic Gaming Monthly, right, or in any magazine, right, there's a whole page there, right before all the reviews that say, here's our score and here's how it works.
Yeah.
But you can't really have that in a video.
No.
So I'm a little cautious to go that route.
I don't remember who it was, that basically kind of rated each things individually, like graphics, gameplay.
GamePro always did that with like they always had the little faces.
Yeah, and
with the scale from 1 to 5.
They would like an average of all of those to give the score.
Yeah.
I mean, that sometimes gives graphically looks great, gameplay's a little bit soft, story's strong, so it's this.
But again, taking the average of those, if it's the most fun game on the face of the planet, but it looks and sounds and controls like crap, and you're like, why am I having so much fun with this? If you take the average, suddenly it's like a 1, and you're like, oh, I had more.
Work.
It's more fun than a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tricky.
We might figure something out soon, but in the meantime, I hope you like the reviews the way they are.
Yeah.
And then finally, you're up, Asia.
To know is to die. Viewer takeover. With everyone talking about Wipeout, Vive and Oculus channels included, you would figure Sony would advertise it as a top-tier VR title. Even the store doesn't have it listed yet as VR. Viewer takeover?
What a fucking debacle this is.
Yeah.
Like Sony seems to outwardly be pushing VR so hard. Right? They've got tons of games in development.
Yeah.
They're the leader in hardware sales.
Good presence at PAX.
Good presence at PAX. And then they do something stupid like saying, here's Wipeout.
Yeah.
Probably the greatest PlayStation VR game we have.
Solid. Yeah.
And we're not even going to list it under the PSVR section of the PlayStation fucking store.
Yeah.
What? Who is in charge over there?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on, guys? Like, you have this PSVR section, right, on the main menu of the store.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's awesome. It's always highlighted. PlayStation VR. It's always like the second option. It's right there.
Yeah.
Right front and center. You click on that, and then it's like the newest game. The best game isn't even there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's in charge?
I know. Sony could be taking one product, Wipeout, and selling it twice. You know what I mean? VR and regular. But instead of just mixing the whole VR aspect of it and just advertising normally for Wipeout. An old game that not many people probably want to buy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to buy it. As soon as it went in VR, I fucking bought it.
I didn't have any interest in Wipeout Omega at all. Until they announced the VR patch, and then of course I bought it on sale on for like $15 or something, and I just sat there waiting for the VR patch.
Yeah.
And now that I've got the VR patch, I'm thrilled. But think about the number of people who don't watch our channel, that don't watch Frank, that don't watch Dave, that don't watch anybody, and they're sitting there with their PlayStation VR headset, and they check the store, and that's their only source of information.
Right.
It's not on the store. I'm not going to buy it 'cause it's not there.
They could even own it in their collection and not even realize that it has a patch.
Maybe already own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fucking ludicrous. It's like my PlayStation VR has been collecting dust. I'm like, well, then fucking put your game into the fucking drive and play it. They don't even know it exists.
Yeah.
Come on, Sony, you got to get your shit together. Like, you're doing outwardly, it seems like you're doing everything right, and then you see like these little minute details that you're just totally fucking up.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know who's running the store, and who's running the PlayStation blog. I feel like games are being announced on Friday that are coming out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm like literally zero fanfare. Like, you're telling us and you give us 2 lines of description on the PlayStation blog about this new VR game that's coming out that we never heard of before.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I've never heard of a game that's coming to PlayStation VR, you've done something wrong, because no one on the face of the planet, okay, there's probably a couple other people on the face of the planet that are so entrenched in the PlayStation VR ecosystem. And if I don't know about a game that's coming out in 2 days, you've done something seriously, seriously wrong.
Right. What gets me worried, like, the PSP was great. And maybe with titles that were released on it, they tried, I guess. They just put too much. Yeah. The little UMD movies and then the games. But then they really focused on really niche titles that, unless you were from, Asia or somewhere, were very difficult to get into. And then the PSP came out. I mean, the Vita. and it was incredible. Golden, Golden whatever
Abyss.
the fuck it was from Uncharted.
Uncharted
Great
Golden
launch
Abyss.
title,
Yep.
very westernish if you in the aspect of where they were gearing it towards.
Amazing launch titles.
And then they just started coming out with these, little graphic novels and doing all these other things to it that really just made it a product that nobody even looked at anymore.
Except for me, because
Except for
Danganronpa
you.
1 and 2 were fucking phenomenal.
So I worry that Sony just has a track record of kind of almost bearing their own great product.
Well, that's the problem. Is like that. Like so, we've talked about this before on the show that if Sony wants PlayStation VR to succeed, they have to be the ones to bring the AAA titles because the AAA titles it's cyclical, right? If there's no AAA titles, no one buys the hardware, and if it's not hardware, then no one's going to create AAA titles for it.
Yeah.
So Sony has to be the ones spending the money to promote their own product.
Yeah.
Luckily,
And instead, they're promoting it with price drops, which is great.
very important.
But still, they need the games to back the kids being like, Dad, Ma, look, now it's only this much.
Right.
If they can't go out and buy it themselves, which Sony, a lot of their games, I mean, yeah, the adults play games nowadays just because we all grew up with it. But there's still a huge audience out there that needs parents to buy this shit for them.
Yeah, it's there's obvious titles like Skyrim and the Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
But I feel like this year's E3, if they don't announce some big AAA titles, like a couple, then I mean there was an article this week, is PlayStation VR the next Vita? And 'cause I think you're totally onto something.
Really?
Yeah.
That was that article.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You fucking hit the nail on the head, like word for word.
I swear to God, didn't even see that article.
Yeah. So
But I don't want it to be. the
No,
next Vita.
absolutely not,
Not at
because
all.
the Vita was an amazing machine, but it didn't have focus.
No.
Right? It's like, get rid of the fucking back touch, get rid of the rid of like the proprietary memory stick.
Yeah.
Right? Like let's make this thing more accessible. Let's make it cheaper. Let's make it easier to develop for. But they didn't do any of those things.
No.
They didn't learn enough lessons from the PSP.
No.
But here we are with PSVR, and Sony is, I mean, technically from a technical standpoint, from a hardware standpoint, they're fucking killing it.
Yeah.
There are more PSVRs out there than Oculus and Vive combined. Like way more.
Yeah.
So they're doing something very, very right. But now they just need to get behind it with the software, and I really think that by the time E3 rolls around, we're going to be reaching that 2-year mark.
Yeah.
And if Sony doesn't have a few games up their sleeve that have been in development for the last 2 years, then I'm a little concerned.
Me too, because then that's a whole other year of just random little experiences and short 2-hour games that are going to be released.
And luckily, a lot of these things have been good, right? There's been a lot of great smaller games,
Yeah.
but you need more than that. You need something to latch onto. When somebody goes, "Why do I need a PSVR?" You don't say for Rick and Morty virtual reality.
Yeah.
You say for Resident Evil 7, for Skyrim.
Yeah.
You immediately go toward the bigger games.
Yep.
I think Static is one of the greatest games ever made. You played a little bit of that.
Yep.
It's the best puzzle game I've ever played, and especially the best puzzle game for PlayStation VR. And it's like, you need to play that game, but it doesn't roll off your tongue when somebody goes, "Why do I need a PSVR?"
Yeah.
So that's kind of it. It's all about optics, I think, and Sony needs to work on optics. Luckily, Impulse Gear tweeted out that they're looking for some help, because they are developing another VR game. And
Nice.
so we're all hoping that means Farpoint 2. We need another use for that for the aim controller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see. I guess at some point.
we definitely will. Why do I feel like at the end of every viewer takeover I go on a little rant? What the fuck is up with that?
It's needed.
Michelle's not here. I'm just trying to fill the void. Nice. What do you got in there? Anything good?
Cherry flavored Kool-Aid.
All right.
Squirter.
I think you. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Squirter.
Yeah, those things.
Okay.
Have you ever been with a squirter, Brian?
Hey, a few times.
Yeah.
Most of them are squirters.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never have.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you guys again for tuning into another episode of the Midnight Gamescast, specifically Viewer Takeover.
Yep.
Make sure you comment below with your Viewer Takeover questions. Remember, hashtag Viewer Takeover gets our attention. Make sure you head on over to patreon.com/withoutparolegames and give us $1 or more every single month to really be part of this channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty much it for another episode of the Midnight Gamescast. I'm Brian Paul, and that's Jeremy King.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep. With Michelle included.
Oh, God, I fucking hope so. my favorite new show
Wow.
is a British reality show called Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away.
Really?
Yeah, it's about these people. Like, it's the High Court in London, or England. They basically can enforce people to pay debts that they're owed, right?
Okay.
Pay debts that they owe. And what they can do is they send out these High Court enforcement officials, and that's who the show's about. The people going to collect debt.
Okay.
And you can only imagine that this doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Ever. Ever. So they show up at somebody's house. And they go, hey, we got a writ here that says you owe this much money to this person, and we need to collect payment today. You're like, well, no, we didn't get any notice. Nope, we don't need to give you any notice because this is how the High Court works. We show up, you have to pay.
Wow.
I'm like, well, I don't have any money. They always say the same thing. We don't have any money. They said, well, so you're not going to pay? They said, we're not going to pay. And then we're like, well, then we're going to take your shit away.
To equal the value?
To equal the value. But they have to take like twice as much stuff because they sell it at auction, right?
Yeah.
So you owe like 10,000 pounds. I don't know what that means. They have to take like 2 cars away. It's like, it's crazy. And so, and so the best part about the show,
It's stressful.
I know it stresses me the fuck out, so I can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
The best part about the show is that these people have no idea that these enforcement officials are just allowed to enter their residence. Just walk right in. They're allowed to go in and just take shit. And so
Right then and there, just
right
grab
then
it,
and
bring it outside.
So you can an already tense situation. They're like, okay, well then we're coming in. They're like, you can't fucking come in here. Like, we can fucking come in. Here's our.
Oh my
that
God.
doesn't mean it. Oh my God, the number of times you think these people are gonna get shot is fucking out of control.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and some people are like, and sometimes they're there to evict people, and sometimes they're there to repossess, property, and sometimes they're there just to collect the debt.
Wow.
And it's like you feel for. Like they're kind of the bad guys because they're showing up, but at the same time, the people they're collecting the debt from are the bad guys because
paid.
they owe 10 months of unpaid rent.
Yeah.
10 months? You think you're allowed to stay there for 10 fucking months without paying your rent?
Yeah,
no,
no
you're the
shit.
bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? So you feel for these officers and they're all so nice.
Yeah.
They are. They're like usually they're older guys.
Yeah.
Like I think most of them are probably like around 50 years old and they're so soft spoken. They're able to keep their cool in these really tough situations.
Yeah.
And you're like, I one day aspire to be this man. Right?
Yeah.
Because if somebody says one thing to me, I usually flip and go, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I lose my cool so fast.
Yeah.
These guys are like, they're being threatened and they're like, no, sir, you don't understand. No, you don't understand. We are allowed to be here. Like they just never lose their cool.
Is this in Netflix?
Yeah.
Really?
Can't pay, we'll take it away. It's as British as it comes. And
I guess so.
And it's fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously what if that was the law in the United States?
Oh, there'd be people shot left and right.
Constantly.
Oh, it'd be
They
awful.
wouldn't be able to air any of the episodes. It would be all about death and violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New show, they were trying to make it. It'd be all over
Everybody
the news.
died.
Yeah.